Hello there, welcome back to another video. So I watched a video by Jazza a while back, and Jazza is an artist YouTuber where he does lots of fun art challenges, and I like to get art challenges that you see on these channels and then bring them into Minecraft because I think that's a cool idea. Beside that point, one of the challenges that he did on his channel was somebody described a character to him, he drew them, and then he saw what the character looked afterwards, and I thought, why not do that with a Minecraft build? So that's what we're doing today. I am building bases based only on people's descriptions of them. The first description I got was 4 square pillars with 4 upside down pyramids on them, and on top of them is a garden walkway around the roof layers. Now you are gonna have like an image of what that is on the side of the screen, but I have no idea what that means or what he's talking about there. So I guess I just have to start. Now I'm thinking the 4 pillars, maybe they're like, so there's like 4 pillars and then there's upside down pyramids on top, so upside down pyramid would be like that, right? So if it's going to be like 4 pillars, we could do it like this, that one, and then like this one here, so that on this thing, and then on top of those I'll use these black walls as in the pyramids. We could do like pyramid on top of each of those, and then there was a garden walkway. Maybe we have like that going through the pyramids. Oh, actually on top of them we could do a garden walkway like this where they're connected like this. I'm not sure what he's talking about with this. It could be a real life thing, it could be a fictional thing. I can't think of anything that looks like this, so obviously it does exist. He isn't just making this up from the spot. This is my brother I'm talking about, so he's probably just made this up and I'm going crazy, but I can't think of anything. But yeah, something like that could look good. It looks like a big like walkway, and then you could have it like maybe broken off at the sides. I'm doing a little bit of like inspiration. He hasn't told me anything about the colors either, so I think going for like stone would be nice, like a big stone, these big stone pillars. But this is pretty good because I only have to create 1 pillar really, and then the rest I just copy and paste, and then I do the garden walkway. So yeah, let me get to work on that. So I did end up trying it with the pyramid just placed on top, and I didn't like the design of that, but this looks kind of cool. I don't know how to explain it. I guess maybe dystopian or ergonomic. I'm not quite sure what the word I'm looking for here is, but it's kind of creepy actually. Gives me a little bit of a chill, that type of like random stairway leading to nowhere. Maybe if there was water flowing down here, because there's supposed to be gardens on top, right? And then we have 4 of these shapes on top of it. This would be really cool, and it would be like you get to the top and there's actually something here. I'm imagining like, oh, this is turning out to be a monolith. If you've watched my channel for a while, you might know why I'm excited about monoliths. Basically, I was told a while back that my skill in building wasn't texturing, wasn't shaping, wasn't doing anything anything that a normal person would do. No, my skill in building was building really sick monoliths. So I don't know if that's actually true, but I've taken that compliment to heart, and I love building monoliths now, because it's like, oh man, these things always look so cool. I guess it's because they require a little amount of detail. I mean, I talk about monoliths like there isn't one literally out of render distance right there. Okay, so I've thrown it together now, as you can see in the time lapse. I decided not to do the water idea because I think it was a bit too far from what the original concept was. It literally just said pyramid, it didn't say water pyramid or whatever. I'll try and stay as close to the original description as possible, although I will have to add extra elements in every now and then, you know, in case somebody, you know, so it doesn't look awful. Right, if I just followed the description to the point, I think it would just end up looking kind of bland. But this is what we got. It's kind of a plain build, I'm not gonna lie. I could have done more, I think, and maybe there was areas where I should have done more. And I was thinking about adding like lots of mossy vines across it, but I thought it would be too similar. I'm going to show you the other monolith now. I thought it would be too similar to this monolith, so I was like, I'll do something, so I'll just do this. And I think it looked pretty nice in the end. It's pretty basic, it's got some cool designs. I like the texturing on the outside. It feels very separate in each area, and I really like this top section. Now, there were areas. Now, I'm going to talk about some building stuff now, which I think is quite interesting. If you notice some builders who do a lot of texturing, every single individual area has a lot more detail. I tend to go for when I do bigger, wider scape builds, I don't always do as much detail as I should. I say that as I look at that build, which does have a lot of detail on the underside. But I would have textured this more, but I didn't, and that was probably a mistake. Like, one way you can texture these builds, which is really easily, if you want to take some tips, is you can add some basalt in. I've got this thing on, so I'm flying through blocks. But you can add some basalt in, and from afar, it kind of looks like streaks. And if you do it correctly, then it can look really good, although that isn't the perfect way of doing it. Let me get some deep slate out, and let me see if this will make it look better. I think that should have. And I'll throw in some... Is that lighter? Maybe this. Maybe that too. To make it a little bit lighter. But yeah, you don't need a whole lot of going on here, but I think that'll look nice. Yeah, that looks nice, doesn't it? And a bit one on the side here too. Like, help bring that together. There we go. Which I think, yeah, that's very, very lovely. And basically little textures like that you can use all across the build. And you do see them a lot in builds, and obviously I might add some more in, seeing where this goes. If I was going to detail this build more, that's how I'd do it. I'd add lots of details like that across it, where you can see that the build is weathered, or little colours have been incorporated in it over time, maybe even rebuilt sections, and I can do that by replacing it with stone bricks. But I'm going to message my brother now, ask him to tell me what he actually was asking me to build, and I'll do a bit of a comparison, see if I can get my reaction to that. Okay, so I was completely wrong. Apparently it's the Tokyo National Exhibition Center, which I would have not even known in my wildest dreams. I was expecting something a little more fictional from him, but he chose this real place. And to be fair, it looks really, really cool, and I thought it would look weird if I built that, but apparently that is exactly what he meant. So yeah, that's really, really cool. But okay, so this is the design we actually have ended up making via the description, and this is the actual building. This is the actual building. But yeah, okay, that's really cool. So let's move on to prompt number 2. So the second description I got given was a 2-story square building with a large central courtyard, covered by a glass ceiling with a marble cylinder in the middle of the courtyard that's tall enough to extend outwards through the ceiling. The building is full of various interesting things and stuff that was entirely legitimately acquired. Okay, with this build I kind of wanted to try something new, and I wanted to expand my skill set. Now this is a style of building that I've only tried 3 or 4 times, maybe a little more. I don't know. Actually, no, that's like an awfully accurate assessment. 3 or 4 times, yeah, around that. And it's this sort of very realistic style, and you often do it on courthouses. B-Dub loaded it first, and I don't know if you can call it a style of building when it's just literally just like shaping. But yeah, I think this is a fairly new thing that I haven't tried. Yeah, I got a hair in my mouth. I haven't really tried this so much in the past, and the thing is, whenever I've tried it in the past, I've only ever done it in grey because B-Dub loaded it in grey, and I was honestly unsure if I could do it myself using colours, especially because, you know, a lot of the colours that you see don't have as many shades as grey and things. And I was like, okay, that's the only way you can actually use this colour, and obviously I haven't done the full build yet. That's, the fact of the matter is I'm actually still recording. But yeah, I love this. I think this is beautiful. I really like the shape of this. I really like the size of this. I'm surprised I could actually get making it look this well. And by the way, I haven't been using references or searching up, even though I did so much want to look at what B-Dub's courthouse looks like. I realized that for this challenge, I really shouldn't look at references. If by some odd reason I end up finding the build someone's told me to make, then that's it. It's kind of ruined, isn't it? So I don't look at references for this. So this is just coming off of the top of my head, and I've been working on this for a little bit of time now, and I really like this design. So I thought I'd just show you my current progress, and then I'll move on to the sides. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do an interior on this. I'll try, but time tells all, and, you know, I'll tell you if the time has messed me around a bit. I've got a lot to do today, so we'll see. Hey, so you guys watched me do the work on this, right? You saw me do the math of where everything goes. So please, can you tell me, right? How on earth did this happen? It's not off by 1 or 2 blocks that might have happened when I reshaped it. No, it's off by a solid... It's off by like 3 or 4 blocks. How did this happen? I've made progress, but I'm also very confused. Like, I bet you were expecting a bit more of the time-lapse, but instead you've got this. I forgot to start time-lapsing. I mean, you would have seen a bit more of the time-lapse if I'd remembered, so I'm going to remember once I turn this off, but... What? People, I'm confused. You're hearing a confused Bradley right now. How did this happen? The thing is, I'm going to point this out in exactly when I did this or how I did this and editing, and I go, look there, that's the thing. But I am so confused. I am an idiot. I think that's the best word I can use to describe. The thing is, it wasn't off by any blocks. It was actually in the correct place. I just built an overhang. So I changed the size of the roof. I didn't move it at all. That's the answer. Yippee, well done. And honestly, I don't know who I'm more angry with. Current me, who it took so long to figure out, or me right there, who was watching, who was looking at the overhang, and still didn't notice. Remember how I said I was going to time-lapse more? I lied. I tend to do that at the moment. Well, on accident. I didn't mean to, but I forgot to click the button, because the button is right there. It used to be at the bottom and it used to be big, saying start recording, and I liked it before. Now it's this small thing on the side that I keep forgetting to click. Flashback is still an amazing mod, but please, Flashback, switch it back to the old way, because I loved it that way. I'm sure there's some way in the settings to change it back. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. This is what the build looks like. Very fond of it. I want to show you the side because I want to complain. I didn't put a lot of effort in here. You can probably tell it's a little stylistically different. It's basically just texturing. This one took me like an hour. This one has taken me several hours. This one is much smaller. Details take a lot longer than bigger shapes. So whenever you watch those shorts in the future where they do like a big shaped build like that, remember, you know, they're not actually building that by hand. They're using like axiom tricks and copy and paste things. It's not that they're bad builds, and they obviously know how to build because of them. So I'm not trying to put these people down in the slightest, because I wouldn't do that. But at the same time, they aren't, you know, those probably aren't the builds that those people want to be building. At least in my opinion. Maybe they really like building them. I mean, that wasn't too bad to build, actually. I didn't mind building them. But if they want to do more detailed stuff, you know, I'd say check out their stat stuff too if they do it on their channel. I don't always check. But yeah, this is what I've done, and I'm really fond of this. I prefer more detailed builds, as you can probably tell when you just look around my world. You don't see too many massive structures. I talked a lot about monoliths though. And I do say, it's not like I'm against or I hate building monoliths. I do like building monoliths because they do have cool features, but I like building detailed monoliths, and this one I really didn't put a lot of effort into. It's funny, I just finished this build and I can't stop talking about this one because of how much I hate it. Okay, let me talk about some features I do like. For one, I really like this clock design. I mean, it's small and I've used trapdoors in front to give it that circular feel because I realized I couldn't do it on the same layer as the chain to make those hands. But yeah, the hand looks really nice, so I don't have to always do it on a diagonal, make it more difficult for itself. One thing I do like is adding these basalt pillars behind the brick walls to add that layer of depth, those extra thin lines on the build. They go quite unnoticed, but just, well, not unnoticed, you can notice them, but they're just nice small details that you wouldn't usually be able to get because there aren't really blocks that thin in Minecraft, except for trapdoors, and those stick out quite a bit. So yeah, it's quite a nice detail. The back is pretty similar to the front, window shape wise. It's just a little more flat and it's just slightly different. It just looks like this, really. The inside red bit there, I'm gonna fix that. I think maybe add like a little grass area because he did add grass, or have a garden or something. I can't do the interior because I don't really have the time for it. I'm very sorry, person who suggested it. I'll have your name in the video when I start editing. Just right now I don't have Discord open, so I can't check. I'm so sorry, but this looks really lovely. Also, I want to ask you guys one thing before I hop off for the day and go on to the next project, which is what you will see. Do you like my new skin? If you can actually tell me what's different about my skin, I will be blown away. So, you know, if you can, right, after you watch this video, check my skin in that video, and then check my skin in this video, and tell me what's different. If you actually tell me what's different in the comments, I'll give you a little heart, you know, because I'm just that lovely and kind of a person, eh? Isn't that right? This is when I forget to give you a comment a heart. I will try. If I see it, I try to give as many comments hearts as possible anyway. So just leave a comment and I'll give it a little heart. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. The building is comprised of 2 interconnected concrete towers, to which 140 capsule apartments were individually connected by high tension bolts so that they could be easily replaced as they aged. There's a lot more to the building in the description they gave me, but that's basically the design side of it. Now, I believe I know what they're talking about. Capsule apartments, they're like a thing in Japan. Now, I'm not somebody who tends to know a lot about other people's cultures, so I'm not going to try and pretend like I know a whole lot about them, but I think they're like really small apartments, basically capsules, you know, the size of a human that you sleep in, and then you wake up and then you leave. It's not really a place you live, more like a place you stay for the night. And I guess you can still go on your phone or whatever while you're there, but because of this, because I do not know a lot, all I have to work on is the description. So they said 2 interconnected towers, and I'm not 100% sure what they mean by that. So let me get out my wool and I can try and diagram it out. Now there are 2 ways I can do this. I can do 2 interconnected towers like this and have like pathways going in between them, or I can do it like this and have the towers literally be interconnected like an X, so both sides are on a diagonal. The only thing that I worry about this design, right, with them being on an X angle, that is that where would people actually stay? Because everything would be on a hill. I guess you could have like weirdly connected rooms, so it doesn't really make sense to me why it would look like this, although that could be a cooler idea and I might actually end up going with it, not for any specific reason, but it might actually be easier if I just use Axiom to do that. I think something like that would work, actually, like 2 interconnected towers, and just getting the positioning perfect. So does that look good? And I'm going to change the block out to tough, so I have an idea of where things are. Enter, like that. Okay, cool. So you have those 2 towers now, and I think that's a cool design for a building. It gives this, it has a good silhouette too. These 2 interconnected towers, they have this really cool silhouette now. And if I get out my paint brush tool, I can use stone, and I can just paint in the middle so they do feel like they're the same color. It's just one's a little bit darker, just a tad bit darker, because of the shading, and that looks really lovely. You get the idea of what I'm going for with this now. Like this one, even though they are on the same layer, this one's in front, and with this one I might bring tuff along the edges like this. I want to do some tuff around the edges too. I think I'm going to go for the stone look. I mean, it's kind of monolith like again, but I'll try and make it look modern and a bit Japanese ease and sleek and things. Just off the top of my head, not using any references again. I'll try to make it look good here. I'll see what I can do. I think that works. Yeah, and you just want to do that first and make that look lovely. Look at it. The beauty of this shape. Okay, cool. So these are two interconnected towers. I'm going to do a little more texturing, add a little andesite in, which is a lovely block for shading and like making little light highlights. But once we've got that color down, I can start to work on the actual, you know, like windows and doors. And I think the door is going to be right there because that's a cool location for a door. Kind of realizing how silly of an video idea this was, because all of these builds, I've guessed what the original one was. I've tried to make it in some sort of way, knowing that they were all modern builds, except for this one, which I genuinely thought was going to be a fantasy build, but no, it was a modern build as well. I mean, I'm surprised. Apparently people like non-fictional stuff more than fictional stuff. Like, that's weird. My videos where I do like fictional stuff like that one there, which I really like making, didn't get too many views. But then I make like this and gets kind of a good amount, and then I make this. Well, actually, I don't know if these will get a good amount yet. But yeah, this is like, it's strange because when I do videos on things that are more modern, I tend to get more views. Like my biggest video, that little guy over there, 53,000 views. It's just about brutalism, a very depressing form of architecture, which is kind of a strange thing. Anyways, on to my original point. I said I was going to make like modern realistic things, but then I'm making all these like structures that do not look like modern or realistic in the slightest. Like, this does not look like it was built in real life. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's overly, you know, it's overly textured, shaded, everything, and it's not bad. I don't mind it actually. It's got a cool silhouette. It's got a memorable silhouette. It's not like it's as good as this. I would have liked to incorporate more color into it, and I'm saying this in a way. I am kind of stuck. I was a little stuck on it because with this build I spent a lot of my energy on it, and then with this build I didn't spend a lot of time. And this one I have put like a medium amount of energy in, so not as short as that one, not as long as that one, but just, you know, enough. There's heart in this. But I think it's quite nice actually. I do like the design of it. I like one thing I do want to talk about, and this is an idea I had when I was just making it, and I thought this was pretty silly. Is you see this little center bit in the middle? You have that, and that looks like an eye, so it's constantly looking like it's following you. And that was kind of the idea behind it. And I think that's pretty funny. It's not funny. It's kind of creepy actually. It's big monstrous watchtower. Now, I'm going to get an image of what it actually looks like because I haven't checked yet, and I'll tell you show you my reaction to that. Okay, it looks like the one from the Wolverine movie. I forgot which one I'm talking about, but I swear there was like a capsule apartment. I might have got this really wrong. So this is what a capsule apartment looks like in. That's really interesting actually. I hope you enjoyed. That was a lot of effort on my part, sort of, kind of. I recorded quite a lot of clips for this one, so hopefully I've got a lot to edit. Maybe it'll be a longer video. You haven't seen one of those in a while. Doing this at the same time as work has been crazy. I mean, I say that every week at the moment. It's not actually that bad because I'm starting to get into the pattern of things now. But you know, each week's a new challenge, each week's a new obstacle that I'm slowly getting past. But as we get into that pattern, as I create better and better videos for you guys, I hope you enjoyed what we made today. Anyways, back to what I was going to say. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any ideas for future videos, put them in the comments. If you see someone with a cool idea, you know, say, hey, that's a good idea. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Final time, gonna say the important thing, which is bye-bye. I did it with the shader pack on. Look at that. Look at me. I'm so clever, aren't I?